You're listening to the Fantasy Wildcard Podcast.
Yes, Merry Christmas and welcome to the Fantasy Wildcard Dynasty show. I'll be your host this week, Ali. You know where to find me on X and Blue Sky, whatever it's called. But it's not about me tonight. It's about the main man, Kev. The best two are here. Kev, you can follow him on X at the Dynasty Mind. Kev, Merry Christmas. How was your fantasy week, firstly, and how are you doing?
Merry Christmas, Ali. Thank you for that. I'm doing great. Cheers. It's a weird one, isn't it? It's actually we're recording on Monday night this week. A little bit different to the Tuesdays usually do. So I'd love to give you the final verdict of how weekend's gone, but there's still a little chance it can all change, especially in those Dynasty Best Ball leagues where it looks like it's done, but it's actually not done. Looking about mid-round 7 and 6 on the week, there's been some real highs, like teams which probably shouldn't get to the finals, which will, and then just the crusher. I've got a 25-3 team that's going to lose to the 6th seed that were 14-14, and I've scored the 6th most points on the season. That's a killer, but I've seen some tough luck stories out there. I've seen a good friend of ours, Tariq, in a league. He was 27-1 on the season, and he's going to go out in the semis. So it's just unbelievably a lot of luck in the playoffs. Just got to ride the lightning and just not take it too seriously and laugh it off, I guess. Otherwise, you'll be crying into your Christmas dinner. But speaking about how are you doing, Ali?
Yeah, doing really good, mate. Really looking forward to tonight's show. Finished work for Christmas. Had a pretty decent weekend. Obviously, it's not all over yet. Josh Jacobs could go absolutely bonkers tonight against the Saints. Don't want him to, but I don't want to put the mockers on anyone that wants him to go off tonight. But yeah, as you mentioned, we spoke about the playoffs last week and what a lottery it is. It's all about surviving. And I think anything above 50%, mate, I think you're doing really well and heading into the final. So yeah, it's the best two tonight. Mags is not with us. He's traveling back to see some family, I believe, over Christmas. So yeah, only the best two to discuss. Well, week 16 of the Dynasty season. Yes, the fantasy playoff semi-finals are almost in the books. They will be by the time you listen to this, and hope everybody's done well. So we'll go on to the first topic of tonight, Kev. And I mean, if any of you out there had him as your quarterback this week, which luckily for us, we've been high in the sky, so we have him in plenty of places. He really did help us win, or at least hopefully win our semi-final matchup. So, Kev, let the audience know who you want to talk about first.
I mean, it's the guy that's on my roster on that 25-3 team. So it's not guaranteeing you a win, but look, Jaden Daniels, the main man. We're going to come on to some QB strategy as well on the back of discussing Daniels, but he is the main man, as I said. Absolute fire this week against my Eagles. Ice in his veins, last 10-second touchdown, second time that's happened this season. It was Jaden Daniels both times, obviously, that crazy Hail Mary play. And then this Eagles play, false start on the right tackle, not called, but I'm not going to bring up that, I'm not too bitter about that. Absolutely disgraceful coaching on that drive. But enough of Sirianni. Jaden Daniels, I think, 5 passing touchdowns. That's unbelievable for a rookie. We've spoke a little bit last week about the elite dual threat QBs, that top 4 that we all agreed upon. And I've got a quiz question for you, Ali, actually, because I know you like a bit of a quiz. It's Christmas time. Mags is not here, so it's the best two. We can have some fun. And it's around the 5 passing touchdowns. So you've got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels. Thinking of 5 passing touchdowns, rank them in order of who's had the most in their career to who's had the least in their career for those top 4. So I'll give you a moment to have a little think about that. So number 1 will be the one that's had the most 5 passing touchdown games. And number 4 will be the player that's had the least.
Mm.
You take your sip of water, have a bit compose. Well, I think it's water. Compose yourself with your Santa hat on.
It is Christmas, Kev, so you never know what could be in that bottle. So in their career, who's had the most 5 passing touchdown games?
Yes.
Now, I think you've put this in there because I think the results are going to surprise me. Obviously, Jaden Daniels is a rookie, so you probably wouldn't expect him to be number 1, or would you? Because he has had one. Now, Josh Allen this year doesn't spring to mind that he's had some fantastic rushing. I mean, he's had like 3 touchdown rushing performances. Lamar Jackson, I think he's possibly had a 5 touchdown performance. Jalen Hurts again, especially this year, I think his rushing touchdowns were almost as high as his passing touchdowns, but for his career. So I have to rank them in terms of career passing touchdowns. I'm going to go. This is going to go horrendously wrong. I know it will.
Here we go.
I'm going to go for Josh Allen 1. Probably completely wrong. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts 2. I'm going to go. In terms of Lamar pass for 5 touchdowns in a game, I don't think you're gonna have Jane Daniels last because he's on there. I'm gonna go Daniels 3, Lamar 4. How badly have I got that wrong, Kev?
Oh, I love this, Ali.
I don't.
Usually smart guy. So you're 100% right if you flip your answer 100%.
Wow, really?
So Lamar Jackson, I think he's had 4 in his career. 5 passing touchdowns. Number 2, Jaden Daniels with 1.
Wow.
And then actually, it was a bit of a trick question. It's tied 3rd with Hurts and Josh Allen, who have not had any 5 passing touchdown games. They've had 5 touchdown games, I believe, but not the 5 passing. So I just think to do that as a rookie, it's better than what Lamar did. He didn't do that as a rookie. None of these have had as good a rookie season as Jaden Daniels, those elite players. So I think there is still growth in Jaden Daniels, which is amazing. And people talk about that age, but he's still a rookie. It's still his first time in the league as a pro. So what he's doing is truly remarkable. 22 passing touchdowns to 8 interceptions, 6 rushing touchdowns, 737 yards on the ground. I don't know if you see it, if others see it, but it's giving me Lamar Jackson vibes with someone that, when it all hits, when he gets that super efficiency, he's going to have one of these stupid seasons where he wins MVP potentially and throws 35, 40 passing touchdowns. And he's finishing hot. Look, QB1, QB2, QB7, QB1. They're the last 4 weeks. He is a league winner. He's someone that's on that dual threat archetype, which I think you've got to buy into. There is scenarios where it doesn't go 100% to plan. Justin Fields, Anthony Richardson spring to mind. But remember, when they showed a little bit of potential, their price, their market value, massively inflated. That gives you the option to move off these guys when they move up to QB 5, 6, 7 in rankings as they always do. But I do think it's worth the gamble. There's the opportunity to move off these guys. But the bit about the strategy is Joe Prep QBs like Jaden Daniels, you might not be fully in on them, but don't fade them. Like, you've got to have some exposure, because when it hits right, the price, the value you're increasing your roster by is absolutely massive. So that's just one to look out for. A guy like Jalen Milroe, for example, don't know where he's going to go in the draft next year. But if he's first 3 rounds, he's someone that I'm going to be interested in as a dual threat guy that, yes, he'll need a bit of luck, but if he gets an opportunity, his value is going to skyrocket.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that we've spoke about throughout the years that we've done the show is the Konami code, looking for the cheat codes. If you had Lamar in that fantastic season, you won fantasy. And these are the types that are worth the risk, in my opinion. We always say that. I'd rather either finish 1 because I've got the cheat code, or finish last and get the number 1 pick again because you've got like a Justin Fields that burns out and ends up being a backup. But yeah, going back to Jane Daniels, I just think the most impressive thing for me is just how he absolutely blew his way onto the scene. Was phenomenal the first 5-6 games. We thought this is definitely Lamar Jackson, the second coming. Then he had a bit of a down spell where he struggled. We thought other defenses figuring him out. For him to come back with such an awesome performance against the Eagles defense that's top 5 in the league, that's absolutely playing phenomenally. He might have got a little bit luck throughout the way, but just so impressive as a rookie, as you mentioned. And I just think there might be something to it where we say, oh, he's had so long in college, he's an older prospect, but he's coming into the NFL ready for the NFL. You see people like Bryce Young was never ready to come in. People like Richardson still doesn't really look ready for the NFL in ways. And I just think there's something to it where they do spend a little bit extra time in college, but we write them off because of, oh, how come he's not gone to the NFL yet, But yeah, Jaden Daniels, absolutely love the guy. For him to have 5 passing touchdowns in the game against the Eagles was phenomenal, to lead them to the clutch victory. Don't want to talk about it too much, Kev. I know it's even affected my team. I wish the Eagles would have held on as well. But yeah, you've got to love what you see from Jaden Daniels, and he's got himself in that top tier in Dynasty so impressively after one season. And how high is the sky? Like, would you be surprised if he's the quarterback 1 in a tier of his own in another 12 months' time? It's in the realms of possibility just because of he's come in. This is the offense he's had to learn. He's wide receiver 1 is Terry McLaurin, who's a veteran in the NFL, never really been elite. He's been a decent above average wide receiver. But what happens if they go and spend up on a T. Higgins or someone like that? Gives him another massive asset. I just think, the ceiling is there, so he could have a bonkers season. So, I think the price to pay obviously is going to be massive right now. And you're probably a little bit late to the party, but we certainly weren't, Kev. And don't fade them dual threat quarterbacks, because if they can win games, a bit like a Jalen Hurts, people are questioning his passing, but to be fair, the Eagles are on a massive winning streak. They're winning games. He's scoring touchdowns left, right, and center. They're the ones that are going to win your fantasy leagues. Talking about winning fantasy leagues, Kev, we're going to talk about some championship studs. So we're just going to review 3 players, 2 running backs and a wide receiver that, I certainly faced this first bloke. It was difficult because at halftime, it looked like he was going to absolutely break all records. Jonathan Taylor was the first one. What a stud this week, 39.8 points, 29 rushes, 218 yards and 3 touchdowns. But not really a surprise when you look at how he was building up the last 3 games. He's actually averaged 26 touches, which is phenomenal for a running back. It's sort of back where we know Jonathan Taylor can be, where he was the RB1 in Dynasty a couple of seasons ago before sort of the injuries took their toll. 96 yards and 107 yards in the 2 games previous. He doesn't really catch passes, but he doesn't need to when he's running all over the defenses. And then I looked at week 17. They've got the Giants, who are just in the biggest tank mode I think I've ever seen. So I think if you've got Jonathan Taylor riding into the championship game, I think you're likely to have pretty decent advantage heading into that. Average 16 points per game in 2024, which is fine. How high are you, Kev? Because Jonathan Taylor is someone I'm not very exposed to in Dynasty. I just think the price has always been a little bit too high for me, especially with the injuries. Are you really high on him heading into 2025, or is he someone that you don't have many shares of?
Yeah, I'm not massive high on him. I think my concerns going into this year was the pass game usage for the price he was having to pay with Anthony Richardson, dual threat guy, and a pretty sketchy record in the receiving game numbers-wise in the NFL for Jonathan Taylor. So, and actually, when he had his running back 1 season, it wasn't like a killer running back 1 season. It happened because the competition around him sort of surrendered and faded away as such. So I'm not massively high on him. I think when you put Jonathan Taylor, I thought, wow, he's going to be a lot of 5th and 6th seeds. So yeah, that's probably what's happened this week with teams that have got him and are going to advance. They're probably these that have got through the first week of the playoffs and then taken the life of somebody in round 2, a 1 seed or something, which it's probably a little bit extreme there with that phrasing, but that's how it is with Jonathan Taylor, I guess.
Yeah, this next bloke, Justin Jefferson, I mean, needs no introduction. Another great performance, 36.4 points, 10 receptions, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's had 5 touchdowns in his last 3 games. That link up with Sam Darnold seems to be back there again. He is supplying the goods. Loving the talk on X about, is he good enough? Has he earned himself a contract, Sam Darnold, for 2025? I love this, uncertain period. He's the wide receiver 2 on the season, although he is 66 points behind Jamar Chase. So, Kev, dynasty-wise, are you still Jefferson over Chase? Have you flipped that? Or are they just in the same tier where the value, there's not much between them?
Yeah, I've always been Jefferson over Chase, sort of just because of Chase has never really done it for an extended period and put up those true super numbers outside of a rookie. But what Chase done this year for me, that's just putting him slightly above Jefferson. Like, I've got them same tier, but if you twist on my arm, I'll take Chase slightly over Jefferson, and it's purely because we know Chase has got Burrow. With Jefferson, it's just a question of maybe Darnold is a starter on another team. Maybe JJ McCarthy takes a little bit of time as a 3-year QB, someone that's missed his rookie season. And like you mentioned earlier about the QBs that have come in and as rookies or in the first season smashed it, it's guys like Herbert, who was there 4 years, Mayfield, who was there 4 years, Jaden Daniels, who's been there 6 years, something, so 5-6 years. So yeah, I think there might be some growing pains with McCarthy if it's him next season. So that's why I'd give Chase the advantage. But it's no shock to me that Jefferson's doing damage in the playoffs, in your fantasy playoffs, because he's a stud, and your stud players end up on the best teams in your league.
They certainly do. And this next guy who I want to talk about, you certainly wouldn't label him a stud at the start of the season, but what a guy, Chuba Hubbard, 32.5 points this week, 25 rushes for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns, adding 4 receptions as well, just for 13 yards, but it's nice in PPR formats for sure. RB12 on the season. That is, if someone said that at the start of the season, I probably would have laughed at them. But he's been really, really good this year, and they obviously rewarded him with the 4-year contract, $33 million. Essentially, they can get out of it after 2 guaranteed years. And then what makes it even better is the fact that Jonathan Brooks, unfortunately for me, because I've got plenty of shares of him, he's going to be out now for most of 2025 with that recurrence of that injury. But I really like what I see from Chuba Hubbard. I like what I see from the Carolina Panthers under Dave Canales. I think Bryce Young looks almost like it could be their future quarterback again now. It's certainly an ascending offense. They, put the Cardinals to the sword this week, which was surprising to some, especially Paul Pickin.
Have some of that Pickin.
Out of the playoffs, get out. So yeah, I absolutely love this, and I still think there's a chance to buy into Chuba Hubbard. He's going to be a workhorse again in 2025. They're going to make upgrades to the offensive line. You got to think that the consistency with Bryce Young is going to be there. So yeah, what's not to like? If there's a price, less than what you're paying for an RB1 in Dynasty, then I'm interested in Chuba Hubbard. Are you interested, Kev, or do you think this is a chance to sell high on Chuba Hubbard?
I think you've got to be interested. He's a starting running back on an ascending team like this. This isn't a great offense, a great team, and he's done fantastic. So as they grow, I think he's got more room to grow. And if you think back, Chuba Hubbard, say early college career, he was touted as a major player as a running back. It sort of fell off a little bit in his final couple of years in college, but he was touted really high. And it appears the light has finally come on for Drew Hubbard. And what a time to come alive and really deliver it for you. And one of my blind spots was taken to Jonathan Brooks, but I've been keen to try and pick up Hubbard where I can and just sort of protect myself that could have been one of the range of outcomes. And with the injury, it's led down that path. Probably still need to sell some more Brooks if anyone's interested.
Indeed. Well, talking about ascending offenses, we're going to talk about some ascending rookies, Kev, that perhaps started off underperforming, but have come good of late. So over to you.
Yeah, rookies coming good, isn't it? So we want to get a positive show tonight. It's Christmas. We've got no Max. Sorry, Max. Not really. We wanted to keep it positive, and some guys that have got to stick from us on this show this season are Caleb Williams and Xavier Worthy, guys that were going in first round of rookie drafts. Caleb Williams, 101, 102 range. Worthy could have been anything from the 5 to the 10 after landing with the Chiefs. So I wanted to give some positivity first to Caleb, the guy that QB8 on the week, 2 passing touchdowns. On the season, he's now 19 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, which is a really solid mark for a guy that's, I don't know, a little bit eccentric, a little bit off script, and there was sure to be some growing pains. What really impressed me is no interception for Caleb since week 7 bye. And actually, these numbers on the year could be a lot better. No rushing touchdown. He's got 442 rush yards with no touchdown. To give concept, in the rushing charts, the guy directly above him is Anthony Richardson with 6 on those yards. And the guy directly below him on yards is Drake Maye, who's got 2. So you probably expect 4 touchdowns on that basis if we're just taking a median there. Caleb, look, 16, QB 16 fantasy points per game this season isn't superb for what I was expecting. But look, over the last 4, QB 9 pace to finish season against some pretty tough teams overall. So I want to get your thoughts on Caleb Williams against a few guys. Who would you prefer in Dynasty? First one, Caleb Williams or Bo Nix?
Yeah, he's coming for stick, any Caleb this year. Certainly, Nick. I wasn't a fan of Nix. I've been massively out and wrong on Nix, but I think I'm still going to take Caleb for now. I still think that offense. You know how much I love Rome Odunze. I think he'll look better in 2025, and I'll take Caleb, but there's not much in it.
Caleb or Drake Maye?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go Drake Maye on this one. I think I really like what I see from Drake Maye. May talk about him in a little while. But yeah, May. I am. Drake Maye. But again, same tier.
Okay, and final one: Caleb Williams or Jordan Love? I think I know where this is going.
It's a close one. Jordan Love. I've probably got him valued higher than most people. Been really inconsistent, but I think when he puts it together, his ceiling is massive. I'll go Love. But again, you've picked 3 quarterbacks here that are probably all in the same tier for me, all very close to.
Yeah, cheers for doing the ad work, Keep Draco. Next guy, Xavier Worthy, obviously. I had a bit of a rant on a DLF article about a month ago saying, sell this guy if you're a contending side because you can pivot to someone like Mike Evans. Worthy's a guy that's not had 5 catches in any game as a rookie. And then the last 4 weeks, every single game, he's had 5 catches. So thanks for that. A player that, we thought it would be boom bust, but he's actually been really consistent, hovering around that 5 for 50 mark over the last 4 weeks. And I still think there's room to grow. He's not hitting that big play yet. Last 2 games, he's had 11 targets in both. Someone that's wide receiver 42 in fantasy points per game on the season. But again, like we did with Caleb, look at his last 4, Worthy, and he's been wide receiver 20 pace. So that's definitely something to be happy about as a Worthy owner. And we'll do the same again. Xavier Worthy or Jerry Jeudy. I had to mention Jeudy because you love him.
Yeah, I've been quiet about Judy this season. I mean, all the years that I've said bye Jerry Judy, I was too early. I'll go Worthy. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Judy outscores him and has this season, but just think in terms of value, he's got the Kansas City tax. People still love Worthy. So yeah, I'll go Worthy.
Worthy or JMO?
Ooh, this is probably closer because Jameson Williams has been really, really impressive with some massive performances this year. Oh,
that'll be the noise I'm making after my Christmas dinner.
I'm gonna go Worthy. But yeah, I obviously love JMO as a rookie. Not out on him, but he's never going to supplant Amon-Ra's wide receiver 1. So yeah, give me Worthy.
Good stuff. Last one, Worthy or Josh Downs?
Give me. Oh, this is a tough one because I think Josh Downs is a potential superstar wide receiver, but in that offense with Richardson, is he ever going to have double-digit touchdowns? I don't think he's ever going to do it. I'll take Downs, but these two would be really, really, really close for me. I'm interested to see who you'd pick there, Kev.
Yeah, we're going to move on to the... No, I think... I don't know. There's something about me wanting to get back in on Worthy. I'd potentially take Worthy over all three. But it's... again, it's hell of a close. Like... yeah, keep Drake doing great work as always.
Yeah. I think potentially with Worthy, I think there is obviously scope to grow. I think Andy Reid rookies typically always take at least a season to get going. We saw that with Rashee Rice, who I'm really, really high on. And as long as he's coming back 100% healthy from the injury, I think Rashee Rice steps in and he's going to be exactly what we saw this year, which means that he's going to be the wide receiver 1. But you just don't know, do you? Worthy's got so much upside. If he can add a bit more to his game, like deep threat, I just think that, yeah, it's pretty high ceiling, but I still would have Rashee Rice ahead of Worthy. So if I can find someone that really likes Worthy, I'm happy to flip him for
Max.
For some of them guys.
Max,
so we'll move. Oh, 100%. He is the guy. Because he's a homer. We'll move on to some predictions for 2025, Kev. And I've got 3 here. These could be considered hot takey, probably well hot takey, but I want you to consider which one you think is the most realistic. Is there any that you think is absolutely horrendous, never going to happen? So first one is going to be Drake Maye is a top 8 quarterback in 2025. So in terms of fantasy points, and is then ranked inside the top 5 for Dynasty. So I just think, given the state of the New England Patriots, they clearly need big upgrades in the offensive line, which has been horrendous. The wide receiver core has been horrendous. When he talks of Pop Douglas being his number 1 wide receiver, I mean, would he really? He'd probably be wide receiver 3 on most teams. It's just been not great in terms of the help for Drake Maye. I think they were probably right in not starting him straight away because I think he would have got destroyed with that really horrendous first 6-game schedule they had. So I just think for 2025, and I think from what I've seen from Drake Maye, really, really impressed from what he's shown as a passer, obviously as a rusher as well. He's adding 35 rushing yards per game, which is really, really nice. He's had a passing touchdown in every single game he started except one, which I think was away at the Bills or something. Yeah, I just think 2025, there's going to be upgrades coming everywhere. They've got the number 1 amount in cap space by about 30 million in 2025. So I think there's scope for the Patriots to do something really special, like go after a T. Higgins, upgrade the O-line, draft well, and they could be in with a shout in that division. I really think so. So that's prediction number 1. Prediction number 2, I know we said we were going to try and be positive all night, Kev, but I'm going to have a bit of a downer on this one.
You love this guy.
I predicted the downfall of Travis Etienne this season, and I'm not predicting it, but I can see it happening with Breece Hall in 2025. So Yes, there is a caveat that he's clearly not healthy. The Jets really should have shut him down with that knee issue. But they, for whatever reason, thought that they were still in the playoff hunt. That's long gone now. I just look at where the Jets are. They've gone all in this year. They tried to go all in last year, obviously with the injury to Rodgers. I think it's a team that's ready to implode. I've put in brackets, unless they get Mike Vrabel, because I think he is an awesome head coach and could turn them around and sort of glue them back together. Because when you hear and see the videos of Garrett Wilson talking shit about the team and is he happy? Is his future in New York? Devontae Adams, I mean, if Rodgers was to leave, Devontae's not going to stick around either. And then I look at what's happened in the running back room outside of the injury. You've had Braylon Allen come in. The 20-year-old looked really good in his limited opportunities this year, in my opinion. And I just think that Breece Hall's job is not cemented with, say, a new head coach in 2025 that obviously didn't draft him. There's just too many question marks for me. I'm certainly not all out on Breece Hall. I think he's a very, very good running back, and I still own plenty of shares of him. But right now, if I'm looking for outs, I'd trade him straight up for Devon Achane. Whether you can do that or not sure. I'd even probably take Saquon Barkley. Now, I know we're talking about who's going to do that, especially if they're a contender. But that's the sort of value that I'm looking at. Even for an older running back, I think Barkley in the next couple of seasons is going to outscore Breece Hall. Thirdly, Jackson Smith-Njigba finishes as top 5 wide receiver in 2025 and then is a top 6 Dynasty wide receiver. So just over his last 7 games, it's been almost like switching on a light. It's just been incredible, averaging over 100 receiving yards per game over the last 7 games. There's quite a span. Not had a game below 74 yards in that time. He's easily overtaken DK Metcalf as wide receiver 1 in terms of scoring and in terms of dynasty value. We've not quite got the week 16 data yet, but week 15, he had a 50% first read target share, which is just incredible with Geno Smith. And then you got to look at 2025 for the prediction. Right now, I still think that Geno Smith is going to be their quarterback in 2025, whether they draft one of these rookies later on and have Geno as a bit of a bridge quarterback, who knows? But yeah, I still think the consistency is going to be there. Tyler Lockett's probably not going to be there. And then looked at the value of where JSN is right now, because he's definitely rising up the rankings, but he's still below Mags's favorite wide receiver, Drake London. And to me, I would have Jackson Smith-Njigba over Drake London pretty easily. So, Kev, of those 3 predictions, which is the most likely to happen?
So, I mean, we'll trap it like them, shall we? We'll do them in an order so we can get a bit of content on all of them. I think the most likely to happen is Drake Maye, with the prediction that it'll be top 8 in 2025, and then that will result in being top 5 in Dynasty. We know that if you show some rushing upside, or even if you don't, if you just show some ability as QB like CJ Stroud did, you can shoot up those boards really quick. I think he's got a lot in his game which is really likable in terms of these splash plays that he makes in big moments. I'm not going to say because he's white and we've got a racist community out there, but it certainly helps us if you're a white QB with the masses, which is horrible to say still, but that's the most likely for me. I think the middle one is JSN. I think, I want to see more from him. I just think top 6 dynasty wide receiver is so hard to break that top 6. There's guys hovering on the edge there, but I think fantastic. Look, I've changed my mind on Puka Nacua now. He's right up there. He's got to be knocking on that door of that top tier. Guys like CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malik Neighbors, I just can't see any of those dropping off. It might just end up being a bigger tier. But yeah, JSN, I think he's going to rise. But being top 6, I find sort of mid-ground in these picks. The one I'm lowest on is Breece Hall being Travis Etienne. It's more to do with Etienne's story and how he became overrated and stuff. He actually had a really good season, didn't he? He was like running back 3 or 2 or 4, something along those lines, and then fell off. I think the market will adjust on Breece Hall. I think he'll end up probably running back 4 when it comes to it, maybe 5 after Ashton Janty. So, Breece Hall, I still believe in him, but if I can swap him for an A-Chan, if I can swap him for a Barkley, seems like a smart move, right?
Yeah, well, just need to find someone that will do it. Let's hope Mags has got him, and I can swap him for Xavier Worthy. We're going to now play a couple of games, Kev, starting with yours. And I'm really, really interested in this because you've got some props with you as well, Kev.
Yeah, apologies for the audio audience out there, but we'll try and talk you through it and give you the visual images in your mind for this one. So we're called Fantasy Wildcard, but actually we've never got any cards out on the show, have we? We've not got any any props of that nature. So I thought, we all know the game Snap, where you place a card down. If the next card is the same, like 2 6s, you can call Snap and then you win that point or whatever. We're not going to do it exactly like that because let's say I pick a number. Ali could pick the same number and call Snap before me because he knows what number he's going to say. So we're not going to do that. But bringing it back to Dynasty startups, what I would like you to do, Ali, we're going to go through 8 players, 2 at each position. They're currently top 12 at their positions on the season. So QB1, etc. And I want to know what round they will go in Dynasty startups this off season. So I have got some props here. I'm going to name the player. I'm going to get my card ready, and then we'll get you to give your answer and see if it matches mine, and see if we can get a snap out of these 8. It's a good chance, but depends how we're thinking. So the first guy we're going to come to, we had to do it. Baker Mayfield. Which round will Baker Mayfield go in startups?
Superflex startups.
Superflex startups.
So Baker Mayfield is a top 6 or 7 quarterback in 2024. He is a year into his 3-year contract. I think that he's around about 30 years old. I think there's going to be some questions about Baker because of Chris Godwin, free agent. But a long story short, Kev, I think because we know quarterbacks, especially elite quarterbacks, go at round 1 and then round 2 with the wide receivers, running backs. I'm going to go for, because I think he's going to be the perfect quarterback to next offseason. I'm going to go for round number 5.
So are you sure?
Well, I mean, I was pretty sure on my 5 passing touchdown performances, but I got that completely wrong.
Well, Ali, you've redeemed yourself. I've got a 5 in my hand, so that's awesome. Next guy, Snap. Next guy, we've got Sam Darnold.
Interesting, because I think if this was done before, if he re-signs with the Vikings or signs to a new team, I think he's going to get a contract. He's number 1 quarterback on the free agent market, but he's not going to be priced as high as Baker Mayfield because I think he's going to be on a prove-it deal. Well, not prove-it deal, but it won't be a massive contract. It won't have the longevity. I'm going to go for round 7.
2 out of 2, Alice.
You're
a lot better at this game than the first one. Moving on to running back, Saquon Barkley.
Ooh, older running back. Not that old, but going to be in a super high-powered offense again. I'm thinking he's going to be in round 4.
This just shows what a homer I am. Round 2.
Oh,
Go Birds. Right, next running back. My favourite running back of all time. Not really. Derrick Henry.
King Henry. Well,
King Henry.
tapping into you're going for Saquon Barkley round 2. So that's going to be a guy that wants to win in year 1, which is what you like to do, Kev, because you're a winner. But Derrick Henry is going to be, he's in his 30s, but he is going to be awesome for at least one more year. So I'm going to go for. Can I repeat rounds? Are they all different?
Yeah, you can repeat if you want.
Okay. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go for. Oh, it's a difficult one. I'm going to go round 7.
Go for round 5.
Damn it, I had that in my head.
Yeah, you nearly called it then when you were saying, can I pick one?
I know.
Okay, next guy. Moving on to wide receiver now. This guy, he's a wide receiver 1 in fantasy points per game this season. Devontae Adams. Which round?
Devontae. So it's probably going to be the guy that takes Saquon and Derrick Henry. Is going to go. I want a wide receiver 1 in the middle rounds. I'm going to go for round number 8.
Ooh, close. I went 9.
Oh,
so close.
same ballpark.
Same ballpark. When Roger retires, eh? Next guy, scary Terry McLaurin.
Oh, scary Terry McLaurin. I think with the performance that he's had this year with Jaden Daniels, I think people are going to overdraft him. So I'm going to go for slightly higher than Devontae Adams just because of him being slightly younger. I'm going to go for round number. Let's go 7 again.
Number 7.
Yes.
Good man. Good man. Okay. Coming to the last spot, tight end, Brock Bowers.
Whoa, this is going to be. I'm going round 2, Kev.
Round 2. There you go.
Yes, get in.
So you've done pretty well at this. Come to the last guy, which is a contentious one.
Some would say
So,
Wildcard.
Wildcard Jonnu Smith.
Baby, I mean, he's done wonders for fantasy managers up and down the land this season.
Just so you know, Jack would be round 11, Queen would be round 12. I'm kidding. It's obviously going to be the first 10 because I'm not that smart.
I'm going to go for 10.
Round 9. Very close. Very close.
Hit the bar. What a great segment, though, Kev. I like that, and it's getting us thinking more about 2025.
Love it.
So that's the segment of 2025. But let's revisit 2024 with my game, Kev. I've got 4 rounds. They're going to be quick fire. Starting with the quarterback position, Kev, because you love to do it in order. So I'm going to have who's got more total touchdowns, this player or this player? Is it Joe Burrow or is it Lamar Jackson? Who's got more total touchdowns?
See, Lamar Jackson has only got something stupid like 3 rushing touchdowns. And he'll have a lot of rushing yards, so that's got me worried a little bit. I think Joe Burrow is actually still above Jaden Daniels in fantasy points per game, so I'll go Joe Burrow on that one.
Joe Burrow's got 39 passing touchdowns. He's got 1 rushing touchdown, so that's 40. But it's a trick
40?
question, Kev. It's 40 total. It's a trick question because Lamar's also got 40 touchdowns. Second one. Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield? Who's got more total touchdowns?
I mean, because it's you asking it, like it's going to be Baker Mayfield, isn't it?
It's actually Josh Allen, but there's only 1 in it, and the difference is he's been credited with a receiving touchdown as well. Remember that play where he caught it as well?
Yeah.
So he's got 38. Baker's got 37. Third one. Jalen Hurts or Sam Darnold?
I know Hurts has got a lot on the ground. Just because of yesterday, I got Sam Darnold.
It is Sam Darnold. He's got 33. Jalen Hurts got 32. Jordan Love or Bo Nix?
Wow. What a sentence. Yeah, I'll go Bo Nix because I think Jordan Love missed a few games this week. So I'll go Bo Nix just on that basis.
He has. He's got 26. Jordan Love's got 24. Bonus question, Kev. I mean, you probably know the answer now. Which quarterback has more rushing touchdowns on the season? Is it Lamar Jackson or is it Justin Fields?
I mean, I think I'm right with Lamar having 3. So Justin Fields.
Yeah,
trying to think because I've seen all of Justin Fields' game tape. I'm a big fan. Part of me thinks you're going to be a swine and it's a tie again, but I'll go Fields.
It is Justin Fields. He had 5 rushing touchdowns to Lamar's 3. Round 2, running backs. Have they got 10 rushing touchdowns? First running back, Jonathan Taylor, after 3 touchdowns this week. Has he got 10 on the season?
I'll say no.
The answer is no. He's 8 rushing touchdowns. Second running back, the one that got injured this week, James Conner. Has he got 10 rushing touchdowns this year?
I'll say no.
Correct. He's also got 8. Let's try and have a yes here. Bijan Robinson. Has he had 10 rushing touchdowns on the year?
I mean, in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, but then could Ali go no? That's more the question. It's like a game of poker, this. But I'll go all in on Bijan. Let's have Bijan.
Correct, Kev. He has had 10 rushing touchdowns. 2 more. Chase Brown. Has he had 10 rushing touchdowns on the year?
No.
Correct. 4 out of 4. He's had 7. And for for the sweep, Jahmyr Gibbs, has he had 10 rushing touchdowns on the year? Your boy.
That'd be so difficult in Montgomery there, but they've got the best offense ever. So that's tough. I'm gonna say no.
Oh, Kev.
No.
They've both had 12 touchdowns each actually on the ground.
Wow, that's so impressive.
We'll move to wide receiver. So who has had the more receiving touchdowns on the year? Is it, talk about that Lions offense, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or is it Terry McLaurin?
Terry.
It is Terry. He's had 12, and Amon-Ra St. Brown has had 11. Is it Jamar Chase, or is it AJ Brown and Devonta Smith combined?
I mean, they both missed games, and I know Chase has got like a silly amount. So I'll give me Jamar on that one.
Yeah, he's got 16, and they've got 12 combined. I think they have 6 each. Is it Rashad Bateman or Devontae Adams?
I mean, logically it's Devontae Adams, but the Jets. Oh man, that's. All I'm going to say is this game, it better not have Nick Westbrook-Akine in there. It better not. Give me Bateman, but I'm not happy about that question.
It is Bateman. He's had 8. Devontae Adams had 7. Kev, you're going to love this next one. Drake London or a Titans wide receiver called Nick Westbrook-Akine?
Well, I think NWI, I think he's had 9, 24 and 9. I think I heard Scott Hansen say on Red Zone.
So has Drake London had 10?
No, if Drake London had 10, that would be all over my timeline. So let's go with my boy Westbrook-Akine.
Yes, Drake London's had 7. The absolute disappointment. Final one, Kev, because you said you're all in on Puka Nacua now. Is it Puka Nacua or is it someone else with a double barrel name, Marquez Valdez Scantling or Puka Nacua? Who's had more receiving touchdowns in 2024?
Oh, surely you've got to put that in because it's MVS, but yeah. Puka's been more of a compiler, I think, but then, you know what? I'll put some faith in Puka and he'll let me down again.
He has, Kev, I'm afraid. He's only had 3. MVS has had 4. And now, in the honour of Mags, we've come to the final round, the silly round. This is, have they scored more points than the number 1 kicker, Chris Boswell? Absolute ridiculous. But we're going to go for running back Ramondre Stevenson, Kev. Has he scored more points? And I'm going to tell you now, Chris Boswell's got 173 points. So has Ramondre Stevenson scored more PPR points than that?
I'll go no.
The answer is yes, by 2.8 points. Surely, T. Higgins has had more points than Chris Boswell.
How many's Boswell got? 150 odd?
173.
173, that's a big number. Well, I'll go Boswell on this one.
It is Boswell by 0.3 points.
Smart guy. He's missed a lot of time, though, hasn't he?
He has, you're right. He's made of paper mache, I've seen someone put today. Travis Kelce. Surely Travis Kelce has got more points than Chris Boswell. The absolute cheat code that has been the last 8 years.
Nah. Boswell for me.
It's a trick question. They've both got 173 points. We'll move on to the final 2. Noodle Arm himself, Kirk Cousins. Has he scored more points than Chris Boswell?
Ooh. I'll go yes.
He has, and I think he got half of them against the Buccaneers in 2 games with 9 touchdowns or whatever it was in two games by 3.32 points. And finally, Kev, Calvin Ridley. Has he scored more points than Chris Boswell, the number 1 kicker?
I think because all the touchdowns have gone to his Maye, I'm going to say no.
It's actually yes by 1.8 points. Calvin Ridley. What an up and down season for Calvin Ridley in this Tennessee Titans offense. And that, Kev, I think you've done rather well there, mate. You certainly win the game.
Started off, I was going to say it's like, I was pretty good at the start, wasn't I? And then it sort of faded away. It's like that Lily Phillips cue, isn't it? You know, she starts off pretty well, and then
I thought you were going to say some more like an Eagles season the last 2 years. Just fizzle out.
Wow. From an absolute delight to the Eagles.
And on that note, it's time to bring the end to the show where we've sort of reviewed this week's action, Kev, from a Dynasty perspective. We've certainly looked back at 2024. We've looked forward to 2025. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow us and subscribe on X and YouTube, especially because you can see Kev's props come out at Fantasy Wildcard and at Wildcard Dynasty. And yeah, there's only one thing left to say is Merry Christmas. And we'll see you next week for the final show, Kev. Your final show Is there any final thoughts from you, mate?
What ahead of next week? I hope I don't cry on the stream. That'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it? No, look, it's been a great show. It's been a great season so far. Hopefully, when you get to listen to this, it's the week 16 is in the books, and you've made plenty of finals, or if you're in your 2-week playoff sort of things, that you win some ships. But we're back for the big one next week. That's going to be, it's the week we all wait for, week 17, championship week. Let's make it rain.
Indeed. Good luck, everybody, in your finals, because if you've been listening to us all year, you're going to be in plenty of finals like we are, and we're going to bring home the cheddar this week, Kev. So that's it from us too. See you later.
See you later.
When you have the wild card, you have the power to change the game.